to me. Played the horn of Lord and served other gods. Remember the days of old, we the lost tribes. They don't believe the Bible, they say a white man wrote it, but still celebrate them holidays from white men, don't they? Like Christmas and Thanksgiving appetites. I don't even see my closest family half the time. Going out ain't an option, I won't compromise. I got integrity and more heart than Valentine. Kyrie tweeted a book they sell on Amazon, owned by the same folks that told him to apologize. Remember slaves couldn't read, wasn't allowed, so it's meaning when I tell you I'm black and I'm proud. Murdered us with the sword, that's how we learn religion. Community standards violate my First Amendment. Discontinue from my heritage under these bastards. Life a bitch, they make up lies and give you public lashes. I understand they confused by who the devil is. Why my people get so mad when I tell them this? Valley of dry bones, my niggas skeletons. It's hectic out there, hope you checking on your relatives. Brotherhood, that's what my weapon is. And nah, I never let these crackers take it from you. Real talk, you probably never heard this all of your life. Be careful, cause that thing you love, it'll cost you your life. Long as we got each other, my nigga. Cause we build this shit on brotherhood. Long as we got each other, my nigga.
Yeah.
We build this shit.
Nigga, I done lost family, I done lost friends. Day one niggas thought was riding to the end. Still showed up, put in that work. Hide behind a smile while I'm walking with this hearse. Some nights I felt alone, most nights I felt cold. Some nights I drove around, I ain't wanna go home. Nigga, I ain't never been, nah, I ain't never fold. Follow orders like a soldier doing what I'm told. Even when the council wasn't making any sense, I ain't never doubted, I just put it to the test. Days I was fucked up and down to my last cent. Reaching in my pockets, only coming up with lint. I'm talking even on the days that I couldn't pay my rent. I put it down for my brothers, ain't spared no expense. If I ever got bent, caused an offense, please forgive you, brother, Lord, that ain't what I meant. See that brotherhood a weapon, fight against deception. When something taken from you, then it's just a blessing. Shorty really loved me, gave me everything she got. And I'm sorry, baby girl, if I ever broke your heart. Man, mistakes that I made, don't know if they'll fade. Moving with a heavy heart, living with the pain. Take away the shame, wash away the stain. Praying to the Lord for the days that I was Cain. Sheesh.
Long as we got each other, my nigga. Cause we build this shit on brotherhood. Long as we got each other, my nigga. Cause we build this shit on brotherhood. They said free the Palestinians, then celebrate the death of native Indians. How these other races gon' take us serious? They don't. It's silly thinking you can fight oppression with a vote. I'm so woke, I got sleep deprivation. Belly of the beast giving birth to a nation. You know how I feel to have culture and they take it. It'll never be peace, tell them free the reservation. Till it's backwards, they don't know that they exist no more. Ever try reaching out for help and you just get ignored? Pick up vices like drugs, your child fill a void. They get a youth life sentence for a killing, he was just a boy. Niggas poor, what we living for? Life a gamble, it's like 10 or 4. Police hands around your neck, they just hit record. We in war, man, this ain't the norm. But you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know. Mama on the stage crying. She just lost her only son to gang violence. Pops level 4 yard talking through the vents. Have you ever tried to hug your loved ones through a fence? Have you ever been hated just because your skin? Have you ever worked all week and couldn't pay your rent? Life a trip, I'm trying to catch my balance. Every step feel like I'm walking backwards.
Yeah. Shalom, shalom. You in Loud Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. Precinct Captain Natazak Shah here, the Isupk, on the Commanding General Yohana. You in this biblical scripture breakdown class. The brothers Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah Rakatham, the sisters Yahweh Shemor Alathan by Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get it started. While y'all being in here, everybody ready to go? Most High in Christ, Most High in Christ. We're going to start off. Shalom, Sister Hadassah, Sister Yagadar. You understand? The call Sapar, Sister Tawabah, Matazah Kara. Shalom, shalom. We'll go ahead and get it started. Anybody got any questions in the room? Any questions in the room? All right, we're going to start it off, open up with any questions. Anybody got any questions? Go ahead and type them in. All right. Got a chance to get y'all questions in here. Got questions. All right. All right. Nobody got any questions? We're going to go ahead down. We're going to go and get our culture. What does the Lord have? What does the Lord have for us? We building in here, repairing our nation, rebuilding ourselves back up, back to the way that the Lord had first set us up. You understand? All right. All right. So where we going to go there? Let's see. Let's see. Everybody checked. Everybody signed in. Ready to go. All right. Of course, the looming topic here, you got the president, what season we are in. You got the presidential elections coming up. I believe it's tomorrow. The debate of what it is between the worst of two evils. You understand? Or how many of y'all are registered to vote out there? Y'all voting? Y'all registered to vote? Who's a registered voter? Let me see. Who's registered to vote out there? All right. 2 Timothy chapter 2, 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 2. The Lord said, preach the word. Be instant, in season. You got to be ready for the season. Out of season. The seasons change. To reprove, to be ready to correct, to rebuke, to exhort with all long suffering and doctrine, the proper doctrine. You understand? The proper doctrine of the Most High that He want the nation of Israel to follow. That's what we talking about here. Who's a registered voter? Y'all registered to vote out there? Sister Hadassah said, Most High in Christ, sis. Most High in Christ. Benjamin said, So I guess the rest of y'all must be registered voters, huh? Y'all ready to cast y'all lot? See who's gonna be your leader. You understand? The sister said no. I guess the rest of you who in here registered voters. Y'all voters. Tower Bob, you registered for vote, you preparing for the election. Bataza, you preparing for the election? Call Sapar, you ready to cast your vote? Yagadar, you ready to let your voice be heard? Ready to be counted? Ready to vote or die? You understand? Sister Anna, y'all Shamal Tawa Shimmy Shah. Well, y'all not voting? Y'all not registered to vote? Some of y'all might be registered on the low key. All right. I see y'all coming out with it. You understand? But those of you that don't know, just like everything else, for the brothers and sisters might be watching class for the first time, the Lord gave us commandments, of course. And in those commandments, a number of those commandments are telling us that we do not choose who our leaders are. That's not how we get who's in charge of the Black, Latino, Native American community. We don't have elected officials that are supposed to be in charge of us. In fact, The reason why we're having so many problems as a people is because there are elected officials and politicians that control life and the resources and the education and the spirit of how the community, how our people are supposed to function. That is influenced to us by politicians, not by who the Lord set up in power. You understand? This what the Lord said in his commandments. All right, we're gonna get Deuteronomy because that's the season we in. Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 15. You understand? Deuteronomy 18 and 15. All right. It says, the most high thy power. Do I want to start there? The most high thy power will raise up unto thee a prophet. That's the first thing that we must understand is the Lord is going to raise up a prophet, not raise up Buddha, not raise Muhammad. You understand? The Lord is going to get specific about where and who our leaders are going to be and where they're going to come from. The Lord said, I will raise up, he will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, meaning right from where you are in the middle of you, not somebody from another community, not another nation of people, not someone from out of town. You understand? The Lord said, I'm going to raise up someone in the midst of you, right where you are, of thy brethren, of your people, meaning you are not going to have a leader sent by the Most High that is not one of your people. You must be Black, Latino, Native American in order to be a prophet of the Lord. And the Lord said he would raise them up, one of your brethren, right from in the middle of you, like unto me. Moses is saying, just like me, there's going to be a black man, just like I am. You understand? That's who is going to be in charge. Unto him shall ye hearken, meaning you're going to listen to him. That's who you're supposed to follow. That's who the Lord set up. You understand? So the Lord is explaining, how will you know who is supposed to be in charge? Right now, there's a lot of confusion. If you are anywhere in the Black community, you will see signs for everybody. Councilman, the ward, vote for me, the mayor, the council at large, all the seats is up for grabs. You understand, all the time. Well, the Lord said he would raise up a leader, raise up a prophet from in the middle of you, one like of your brethren, just like me, just like you. Unto him shall ye hearken. Not Muhammad. Muhammad is not one of us. He was in error. The Lord didn't raise him up. You're not supposed to follow him. Joe Biden is not one of us. He's an Edomite. He's another nation of people. He's not like you. He's not like me. He's not like Moses. He's not like our forefathers written and recorded of in the Bible. They're not like us. You understand? Shalom, sis. Yahweh Shemal, Shim Yahweh Shah. All right. They're not like us. They're not one of us. They don't eat the way we eat. They don't move the way we move. They don't speak the way we speak. They don't communicate the way we communicate. The stuff that is important to us is not what's important to them. We are a completely different nation of people altogether. And we cannot have leaders, not leaders, but a leader. We cannot have a leader that is not one of us. You understand? They don't know how to deal with us and our people, our children, our family. That's why the scriptures say the heathens deal wisely with us. They've always been concerned about how to navigate us because they're not going to deal with us the way that they deal with their own people. Why would they do that? Because every people is born on a team. And that's a foreign concept. And as soon as Blacks and Latinos and Native Americans actually learn this and start to teach this to your children and your son and our sons and daughters, the sooner we'll be able to put life in a proper order the way that the Lord commanded. All right. Everyone in life is born on a team. You are not an individual. The only people on the earth where everyone is an individual, everyone is doing their own thing, everyone has their own beliefs, everyone has their own gods, everyone is just free to go and be super individuals. That's only amongst Black people. No other race of people on the planet is everyone a damn specialized individual that must do everything completely different from the rest of their people in such a special way. Like that's against the Most High. You understand? Hey, shalom, young brother. Y'all about Shimon Shah Brakatah. Like that's not the way that the Lord set life up. That's why if you go somewhere in your community, you will find, if you go to Norfolk, you will see Chinese people selling chicken wings. You'll see Chinese restaurants. Right or wrong? Those of y'all in Norfolk, y'all let me know. You understand? The brother checked in from Norfolk. Young man that was in Norfolk. The sister Imandas checking in for Virginia Beach. Y'all in Norfolk, if you go to Norfolk, will I find Chinese restaurants if I go to Norfolk? Yes or no? Will I find them? You understand? Y'all just tap in. Just let me know. I could be wrong. You understand? There's a chance. Sister Anna said, yeah. She said there's there. What about the rest of y'all? There Chinese restaurants in Norfolk? Yeah, okay. Young man that would say, yeah. If I go to Norfolk, I'll find Chinese restaurants. That's right. What about if I go to Richmond? If I go to Richmond, which is a completely different city, is several hours away. If I go to Richmond and I'm in the city of Richmond, will I find Chinese restaurants in Richmond? Do y'all know anybody ever been to Richmond before? Let me know. All right. Will I find Chinese people selling Chinese food in Richmond? You understand? I don't know. Maybe so, maybe not. I don't know. I travel a lot. I want to see what y'all say. Okay. Brothers and sisters said, yeah, they'll find Chinese restaurant. What about if I go to Pittsburgh? You said you never been to Richmond, brother. Good Lord, you gotta get out the neighborhood, brother. I hear you. I hear you. You understand? If I go to Washington D.C., there's Chinese people selling Chinese food in D.C. There's a Chinatown there. Wherever you go, you'll see Chinese people doing a particular Chinese thing. They'll have Chinese food. They'll be selling Chinese food. Where will these Chinese restaurants be? They'll be in black communities. How is it that the Chinese know? Okay, the brother in Pittsburgh said, yeah, they got Chinese. How is it that the Chinese know where to go and set up a Chinese food restaurant? How do they know that people will buy their Chinese food? How do they know their Chinese business will be successful? If they go into a non-Chinese community selling Chinese cuisine, how do they know? Could you comfortably go into a Chinese community as a black man, Latino, Native American brother or sister, West Indian brother or sister? Could you comfortably go to China or to any Chinese community and sell your food that you and your family normally eat? Selling wings and mashed potatoes and greens and cabbage and mashed potatoes and baked chicken and fried chicken and you understand and jerk chicken and curried chicken and you understand and lamb and roast beef. You understand? Could you comfortably go and set up shop? Absolutely not. You could not. You couldn't. How could you? You understand? And that's a very important point. You understand? Because in our communities, we have Arab businesses, we have African businesses, we got East Indian businesses, we got Asian businesses, and they all know that they can come from wherever they are and they can bring their food and their cuisine. And there's a market in a place that they've never been with people that they did not grow up with, families that they are not familiar with, taste buds that they don't know, food preferences that they are unaware of. And they can go for sure, guaranteed, to a place that is completely unfamiliar with them from a country all the way on the other side of the world. And they know that they will have a successful business and career in a place that the people who are there cannot as easily have successful businesses and careers in that same community that everyone else can. You understand? These nations That's why we send up those prayers. You ever been to the Sabbath service or into any of the high holy days? We send up prayers in Psalms, the 83rd chapter. That's one of the prayers that we send up, you understand? And in Psalms, the 83rd chapter, the Lord was teaching us a lesson. Like King, this was a prayer that was being sent up. But the Lord was enforcing something that he had been trying to teach us since the Garden of Eden. That everybody that the Lord created is born on a team. And that team works for its people. They make a God that benefits that team. It's based around their culture, based around their language. It's to unite and strengthen their people. Those other nations are capable of picking a leader that will do what is best for them. If the Hamites have a leader that does not do a good job, that they feel is not doing a good job, then the Hamites will go and tear down the palace and beat them and eat them and do terrible things to that leader and their family, just like they're doing in Kenya right now. That's why the Kenyan army is sending United Nations peacekeeping forces into Haiti. They just landed today. They invaded Haiti today under the guise and the authority of the United Nations, which is the unofficial army to land with assault rifles to stabilize the country on a peacekeeping mission. That's code word for them sending a non-army army in to occupy your land so that the oppressor can steal it and divide it up with whoever he chooses. You understand? Well, the Lord told us something about leadership. And the Lord told us that he would assign a leader to rule over us. For those of you that do not know, Commanding General Yohana is who God in heaven, you understand, appointed to rule over blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans on this earth in Christ's seat until our King returns. The Lord gave us commandments in Deuteronomy, the 18th chapter. He said, the Most High thy power will raise up unto thee a prophet. The leader that rules over us must be a prophet of the Lord. You and your family and your cousins, your brothers and sisters, every black, Latino, and Native American that you know ever met, have heard of, or have not met, cannot be ruled, cannot be cared for, cannot be kept in proper order without following and being under the authority of a prophet of God. It is impossible. It's impossible. That is why it's instability. That is why it's homelessness. That's how the gangs are able to take over. That's why we feel with all kind of illnesses and diseases. We got all kind of child molestation, all kind of violent crimes, all kind of alternative lifestyle, all kind of crimes and robberies and confusion and bad education. And the economy is torn apart. We don't have our food supply. We don't have our agriculture straight. The generations are not being prepared to continue what is best for our nation. That's how we ended up this drug culture, which is the destruction of Black, Latino, and Native American. This alternative lifestyle culture, which politicians under the payment and instruction of the United States government pay to enforce these things and promote these things in the Black and Latino community. Right along with the Christian preachers, right along with the politicians, right along with the rappers, right along with your entertainers. All of these people are paid by our oppressor. And because our people do not follow the prophet that the Lord put in charge, everyone is able to devour us and use our people for their own gain. You understand? Hey, shalom, brothers. Y'all, Shem Shabrakatah. Just joining here, all right? That's why the Lord said, I will raise up a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren like unto me, unto him shall ye hearken. There's someone that God appointed in the earth that all blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are supposed to listen to. You do not have the option to go and follow someone else. Our people thought they did. That's how we became Muslims. And then we found out after several decades that the Arabs were flooding pills and heroin into the black community. That's where all your fentanyl, all your opioids come from. It comes from the poppy fields of Afghanistan and Pakistan and India. That's where it comes from. That's where you get your fentanyl. That's where you get your heroin, your lean, your codeine, which is liquid heroin that all your rappers like to sing about. You understand? They're drug addicts. And the drug addict culture has been allowed to proliferate and get stronger in the black community because we have had leaders that was not the one singular prophet that God put in charge. And the instructions that God gave to that leader is supposed to rule our entire communities and everywhere where we are. That's what we're doing in the ISUPK. That's how you're able to come in and get the counseling for all the problems that you have and learn how to deal and fix our families and our communities. And brothers that would be drug dealers and murderers and unalivers and gang members and stealing cars, they're able to come in and now learn how to live a better life. That instead of destroying their communities and terrorizing their people, they're able to build up and strengthen their communities and strengthen their people. You understand? And strengthen their families and strengthen so that our nation can be rebuilt with their safety. That's how we're able to go into the projects. You understand? Like the McDougal projects down in North Carolina that we went to. Like the Callahan, I believe it was the Callahan projects. You understand? The Callahan projects that we went to in North Carolina under the instruction and the leadership of Captain Nayathak down there raising up those North Carolina camps. You understand? We were able to go down there and in a place that is filled with unsecurity, in a place that does not have safety, in a place that is out of order, that is filled with all of the things that you would spend your life trying to get away from. These such communities, because we obey the prophet that the Lord set up, we able to go in there with no problem, feed brothers, clothe brothers, counsel brothers and sisters, get them with their felony expungement programs, get them all helped out, give them numbers and things to call, invite them into the school so we can put our people's lives back in order from the mess that all of these politicians and elected officials have left our lives in such a state. You understand? The brother said, okay, young man, Edward said, can he get a breakdown on the words thee, thine, thou, and thy? I'm looking for who specifically each word is speaking to. All right, no sweat, brother. The Bible is written in Old Quaker English or the King's English. It's an old language. It's not a different language, but it is a different speech. And the speech has changed very drastically. And you must know what the words written in the Bible mean. If you don't know, you can't understand the Bible, which is why so much of the Bible is absolute confusion to not only the entire world, but especially to Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the actual people that the Bible is written for and about. All right. So I'm going to break it down for you, brother. No problem. Thee, thine, all right. Thine means yours. All right. Thine honor, your honor. That's, you understand. Thine means yours. All right. Thou, let me see. Thine means yours. All right. Thou means you. You understand? YouTube rejected the comment. They think it's spam. YouTube is, boy. Whoever controls this algorithm, whatever heathen control this algorithm, may the Lord fall on your entire house and your family. Whatever heathen that runs this algorithm, may the Lord fall on your entire family until this nonsense gets fixed, man. Whoever put this AI garbage in here and mess up everything, coming up against the word of the Lord, man, may the Lord deal with you. May the Lord deal with you in your office. You understand? All right. So I'm gonna just say it since YouTube or whatever the hell this is, Facebook or YouTube thinks that it's spam. All right. So what is your question then? Thine, the most of these things just mean you. The. You understand? The means the, thine means something that belongs to you. Thou, you understand, means it also means you. What would thou do? What will you do? You understand? And thy, it means ownership. You understand? The Lord thy God means that this God is our God, because the other nations have their own gods. the Most High thy power, or the Lord thy God, meaning this God is yours, the one for your people. All right. All right. If that makes some more sense, man. If that makes some more sense for you there, brother. A lot of them are, and once again, in our language, we don't have 100 different words to say something. That also brings in a lot of the confusion, because we can say one word and it can mean dozens of things, because we understand each other, because it's how we communicate. It's called slang. Esau tries to duplicate it, but they can't do it because they don't have the spirit of God, because they're not the children of God. That's why the Bible doesn't make sense. That's why they have to put 40 different words to say the same damn thing. All right. So no sweat. All right. Most High in Christ, brother. Okay. You got it. So what the Lord was saying in Deuteronomy 18 and 15, he will raise up a prophet just like your brothers, one from among you. All right. Okay. So now in verse 16, this is what was happening there. According to all that thou desiredest, we in Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 16, the Lord said he would raise up a prophet unto us, and him is who we are supposed to listen to. One just like you, a brother just like you. You understand? Living your same life from your same communities. You understand? Communicate, understand the same way. Like he would raise up one just like you, not a stranger, not someone who is not one of your brothers, not someone who you don't understand and doesn't understand you, like one just like you. And that's very important, because right now we have other nations of people that are teaching us to be like them, and their way of life does not fit with us. Their culture, their way of serving God doesn't fit with us. The Arabs walk around a circle, walk around a stone in the middle of the desert in the Middle East in 125-degree heat to serve their God. And they walk in circles to circle around Mecca, which is a space meteor rock that is inside of a gigantic box, that everyone must kiss this rock and touch this box and walk around in circles until 1,000 people burn. Oh, what word we got to use? Not that. Burned till they expire in 125-degree heat. They walking around cooking alive, walking in circles just so they can get an opportunity to kiss and touch this rock. People getting trampled, ribs getting broken, people getting stepped on until they expire, people out in the heat cooking up, thousands of people losing their lives so that they can go and circle around Mecca. Well, that's the requirement for the Arabs' custom and culture. Slam your head down on the pavement till you get a black dot from bruising the blood vessels in your brain, in your forehead. That's a requirement for their God. Well, serving our power, our God is not like their God. You understand? Our God is alive, and he sends living prophets that can give you instructions. That's why if it's 1,000 degrees outside, the Lord sent a cloud to cover over us by daytime, so that the sun shall not smite thee by day. But they don't have that God. They have a different God that cannot protect them from NATO, that cannot protect them from the Air Force, they can't protect them from the Marines, they can't protect them from COVID. The UPK was open during COVID. We were still teaching class. Mecca was closed during COVID. The church was closed during COVID. The mosque was closed during COVID. The synagogue was closed during COVID. The Isupk was open during COVID. You understand? And COVID is coming back. Record numbers of COVID hospitalizations are going on all across the country right now. They just not reporting it. You understand? Like the Lord is going to bring plagues on this place, just like he did before, just like he did in Egypt. You understand? And that's why it's very important to follow the man that the Lord put in charge to give you your direction and instructions, just like it says here in the law. All right. So now we're gonna go to verse 16, just to read why we ended up, how this ended up being. There was a reason everything happened. Now, verse 16 says, according to all that thou desiredest of the Most High thy power in Horeb, in the day of the assembly. It's talking about in Exodus. that 20th chapter, around 2024, the Lord came down on that mountain with fire and smokes and earthquakes and thunders and trumpet blowings. You understand? And everyone was scared that they would lose their lives in terrible fear because the glory and the presence of the Lord was on that mountain. Well, they decided that Moses should speak to the Most High. The Lord called Moses up in the mountain, and the Lord spoke with Moses up on that in the cloud, which is a UFO. We've gone over this story numerous times here in the classes, giving Moses instructions on what to do. Everyone was instructed to not touch the mountain because the Lord would take their lives if they touched that holy mountain. All right. So we decided, saying, let me not hear the voice of the Most High, my power. Let's not hear the voice of the Lord. Neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not. They was terrible afraid that they were going to lose their lives. So they decided, fine, we're going to have one person, and this one person is going to speak to the Most High, and the Lord going to talk to him, and he going to tell us what to do, because we do not want to see this ever again. And that's how it went down. Again, the Bible is not a graphic novel. It's not magic. It's telling you what happened, present, past, and future. Good, bad, or indifferent, right, wrong. This is what happened. This is what the Lord said. This is what happened when we obeyed. This is what happened when we did not obey. But it is not magic, the way that the Christian church talks about the Bible. These are real people, just like you, just like your mama, just like your cousins, like young man Edward and Yagadar and Tawabaf and Ahmadar and Hadassah. You understand? Real people, like the people on your job, the people sitting riding the bus with you, the people sitting in traffic when you driving your car, the people standing out front the building, you trying to go in your grocery store. Real live people. You understand? Okay, so now verse 17, and the Lord said unto me, they have spoken well, that which they have spoken. Everything they said is good. Verse 18, the Lord reiterates again, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, one of your brother, the children of your people, like unto thee, just like you. It's going to be a brother just like you. Puerto Rican just like you. A West Indian just like you. A black man just like you. A Mexican just like you. You understand? A Native American, a Seminole just like you. Central South American, a Dominican brother just like you. The Lord going to raise them up. The prophet's going to look just like you. Gideon, all of the 12 tribes are black. But just so that you can know and understand, Gideon was a Manassite. If he were alive today, he would be a so-called Cuban or Gadayawan. His name means killer in Hebrew. Joshua, which is also Yahushai in the Hebrew. You understand? Joshua was a so-called Puerto Rican. You understand? All right. Yahushai means the Lord's salvation. All right. Joshua was a so-called Puerto Rican. King Saul was a so-called Benjamite, or a not a so-called Benjamite, a so-called West Indian brother, or a Benjamite. King David was a Judite, a so-called Afro-American. Christ would also be a so-called Afro-American if he were alive today. Moses was a Haitian, or a so-called Haitian. If he were alive today, he would be a so-called Haitian. Moses was a Levite, you understand, of the tribe of Levi. You understand? So those are just some examples there, but that's what the Lord was saying. Your brother, one just like you, of your family line, not another nation of people, can't teach you nothing about God, because the God that's for your people is not for them. Just like the God for the Arabs isn't for anybody but the Arabs. And the God for the oppressor, you think he made a God that would benefit everybody else more than him? You understand? Everybody in the Bible is black. He take the Bible and make everybody an oppressor, one like unto him. You understand? That's why when black people get in these political offices, or Latinos get in these political offices in our oppressors' government seats, in their minds, they are representing the government. But the government is for Esau. It's his laws, his police force, his marshals, his sheriff, his legislative branch, his politics, his companies, his banks, his insurance, his rules. It's all for him. You're sitting in his seat, representing his government in his world. It's not about what's for your people. That's why the Lord give us commandments that we are not supposed to vote. The leaders that we have, the Lord already appoints. You understand? You don't know who the Chinese mayor is. Who's the mayor that's in charge of all the Chinese affairs? You think they don't have leaders amongst their people? How the hell can they come from China and set up carryouts in every black community across America? How could the Arabs leave the Middle East and get Arab chicken spots and halal spots and shops all in the black community until they get enough to build their own? They have leaders, but they're not choosing elected officials the way that you choosing elected officials, the way that your mama and your grandma and your uncle and all your politically charged brothers and sisters, they not choosing elected officials. That's why they have businesses. You get votes. Your people are told to vote and argue about politics. While the East Indians open up Baskin Robbins and Subway shops, and then when your children want a job, you're going to go to Baskin Robbins in the Subway shop because they're not trying to get votes. They living in the real world. They already born on their team. They're not looking for leaders. Their culture leads them. They have their own identity. And these are the things that the Lord gave us. And this is all the more reason why we have no business voting. It is against God. It is against the law. It is a sin to vote for your leaders. Whether you're voting for the mayor, the city council, the president, the aldermen, the seats, the council at large, none of those things. You are forbidden by God to vote for your leaders. You understand? The Lord said, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. Commander General Yohana is saying what the Lord told him to say, not what he thought up on his own. Jesse Jackson has been saying what he thought up. Martin Luther King said what he thought up. The Bible prophesied about Martin Luther King. It told us that there was a dreamer coming that was going to dream dreams, and the dreams was going to be the opposite of what God commanded us to do. He warned us to look out for them. Guess what happened? We followed Christian preachers, and Christianity primed us to look for whoever was charismatic, whoever was popular, whoever said smooth words and things that rhymed and riddled and made us feel good. And it programmed us to disregard who God actually put in charge. You understand? Christian preachers are the reason that there's drugs in the black community. Reverend Al Sharpton worked with the mafia and the United States government as an FBI agent to distribute crack cocaine into every major black community across the United States of America. From your crack cocaine addiction, that carried through the drug culture, the drug gang culture, the murder robbery culture, the prostituting yourself to get drug culture, the stealing from your mama, stealing money out of her purse to go get drugs, the robbing and prostituting your daughters and your sisters and your brothers out so that they can get high because they're out of money, because the drugs that you selling them has caused them to spend their livelihood down to their soul so that they can chase the drugs that you are providing to them. Well, that became acceptable and popular in our community because of a Christian preacher. And as good and as much as our people believe that they hope in doing the right thing, no one knows how to fix this problem except the prophet that the Lord put in charge, which is Commander General Yohana. Everyone else is wasting their time, wasting everybody's resources, wasting the manpower. You know how much manpower black people waste being Black Panthers and Muslims and Moorish science and all of this stupid studying Egypt and all this old kind of nonsense that can do absolutely nothing to fix the problems of our people. Well, that's why the Lord said, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken, meaning will not listen to unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet, meaning which shall presume to speak a word in my name, meaning they're going to decide that they're going to go ahead and say that they speak for God too. That's what the Christian preachers do. That's what Tony Evans did. That's what Fred Price did, and Sharpton and Jackson and all the preachers you've ever seen or met in your entire life. They're going out representing themselves as though they are men of God. The reason why our people associate serving God, when you think of a man of God before you came into the UPK, what did you think of? What came to mind when you thought about a man of God, someone that represented God, that spoke to God, that was close with God? When you thought about someone who represented God, what did you think of? What came to your mind? I wanted to give you brothers and sisters a chance to answer. What came to your mind, brothers and sisters? Who or what did you recognize or see that made you say, oh, this is a man of God? You understand? Well, I can always go here because this is a man of God. This is how I know where they are. What would it be that you would look for? What would you think? All right. All right. Y'all type in. Let's get some answers from that. All right. What what we got? All right. Sister Anna said a church pastor. Brother Aaron said a greasy lip pastor. Young man Edward said church. Officer Yagadar said pastors, suits. Those Stacy Adams, the uncomfortable church shoes, got you sliding up and down the floor, shoes cutting up the back of your ankles, just uncomfortable as can be. You figure, oh, look how they dress. We must do this to go and see God. You got to put on your Sunday best, your church clothes. You understand? Your Easter suit. All right, let's get some more answers. Who else in here? All right. Here for some people I hadn't heard from. Where's Officer Call Sapar? Officer Shemaga Bar, Officer Call Sapar. Let's get some people who've not answered in here. You understand? Y'all get in here. Give me some answers, y'all. What y'all got? Young man in here. What a young brother at? Young brother, what would you think when you thought about a man of God, someone that represented God? What y'all got? You understand? All I knew was something wasn't right since my father was in the house of the imam. Okay. All right. Sister said she knew something wasn't right. All right. Since my father was in the house. All right. Since I was in my father's house, the imam. All right. Right. The religious leaders. You understand? We got religious leaders that's teaching us about things that's not benefiting and making strength in the black community. Arabs sell oil on Wall Street more than if not the rest of our people that are not Christians are Muslims, and the Arabs and their version of Islam, they got stores and restaurants and businesses and farms and storefronts and all kind of stuff. They selling oil on Wall Street, all kind of business deals and trades. But when you get to the black experience of being a Muslim, you working, 2 and 3 jobs and working all the time. You standing out in the heat in suits, handing out, newspapers, trying to sell bean pies. I've never seen actual Arabs sell bean pies. I've never seen actual Arab Muslims pass out final calls. I've never seen any actual Arabs from the Middle East that have been raised in their father's culture since they were a baby. I've never seen them say anything about Louis Farrakhan. Meaning there's a whole black section of an Arab religion trying to find a way to use some other man in his family's God as a platform to do something for black people. Like that's the exact opposite. Like that's not your family, it's not your people, it's not your language, it's not your culture. And they don't even recognize you as one of them. You understand? That's why they're not sharing the wealth that they get from their culture that is based around their God it doesn't trickle into our community. You're not the brother at the table benefiting from the oil money. You understand? It's all a scam. And that's what our people thought were men of God. You understand? Well, the Lord describes a man of God as something different. You understand? The men that served the Lord, these were rough. They weren't you understand, the cat in the church looking nice and feminine with the smooth, greasy shoes and the uncomfortable shoe with the soft socks. You understand? This is what men of God look like, that stood with the Most High, the men that with the Spirit of God on them. You understand? Not that soft and feminine spirit that the Christian church teaches our people to accept and think that this is a man of God. You understand? This is the spirit. The Lord said the ancient men all sat in the streets in First Maccabees 14:9. The older men sat in the streets. You understand? Why are the ancient men sitting in the streets? Because the Christian church teach you to pile up in some building, dress up like you going to a R&B concert or something. But the men that the Lord set up, he sent them men out in the streets with beards and boots and braids covered in spikes and studs and war scarves, you understand, with fringes on, in glorious warlike apparel. This is the men that God sent. When you go to church, you don't think about men of war. You think about men beating the tambourine and switching up and down there, squealing love songs to Jesus. That's against God. If you go into the mosque, you see a man wearing a full dress down to the ground. You understand? Like that's not the spirit. That's not the spirit of the Lord. That's not our culture. Walking around Allah in Mecca 3,000 times, you walking in a circle, getting dizzy, have a heat stroke, and you pass out, and 1,000 people get unalive trying to serve this God, and then they just push your body over to the side and keep walking. You understand? I don't think you realize that, like, the spirit that we have on our people that we've learned about God is so far removed from our spirit that the Lord put into us that we don't even realize how unnatural that these things are. Like the scripture said, the ancient men sat all in the streets, communing together of good things, and the young men put on glorious and warlike apparel. That was our culture, to wear warlike apparel. You understand? Ain't nothing wrong with getting nice and dressing up and wearing different things, but that's not what represents God. That's not how the God of the Bible is to be represented. Our people have learned about God as a very effeminate thing, a very woman dominated thing, because that's mainly what you see in church. Women, women and children. Most men with any sense of masculinity is not going to sit in there. You got alternative lifestyle men everywhere, women screaming and growling, taking all kind of authority out of place everywhere, telling sisters they don't need to listen to their man, they should be in church, bringing all of their wealth and resources in there. The pastor abusing the little boys, abusing the little girls, all rampant, all throughout all the dioceses, all the different denominations, the Episcopals, the Baptists, the Methodists, the Catholics, the Pentecostals, the Latter-day Saints. You go to Instagram or any social media channel and you flip through about 10 stories. And by the time you get to the fifth or sixth story, you're going to see something about sexual abuse at the child detention center in Maryland. And you're going to see something about some church denomination saying, hey, are you a Latter-day Saints? Did they touch you when you were little? Call this number. You could qualify for this. Hey, are you a Methodist? And word is going out that the Methodists been doing some unsavory things with children. Call this number. We getting a settlement together. Are you a Catholic? The Pope says he apologizing for all the touching and abuse that's happening. Call this number and you could get a piece of the settlement money. Like, it's unavoidable because we have leaders that have put a spirit on us that's not the spirit of God. You understand? Like the Lord is a man of war. Like he's nothing like mommy. He's not a woman. You understand? Like the Christian church's job was to over feminize our nation. So much so that the women have put on such a masculine spirit because the Christian church has worked with our oppressor to destroy the masculinity. You understand? It's work to destroy him. That's what child support is for. That's what divorce is for. That's what 911 is for. The scripture said that the ancient men is sitting in the streets. Why are the ancient men sitting in the streets? Who knows why they're sitting in the streets? Who want to give it a shot? Who knows why they sitting in the streets according to the Bible? And why aren't the ancient men sitting in the streets now? Who knows? Who want to give it a shot? The scripture said the ancient men is sitting all out in the streets. They in the streets communing of good things. Who want to give it a shot, brothers and sisters? Let's see. All right. Let's see. Let's see. I want to hear from some people I have not heard from. All right. Give order. This Officer Shemagabar, Officer Call Sapar. Want to hear from y'all. Give me some answers. I ain't heard from y'all since y'all checked in. Y'all give me some answers. You understand? We need everybody in this class to participate. All right. Let's see who I haven't heard from in a while. Who we got in here? Star now and answered a couple of questions. You understand? Where's all the honor roll students at in here? All the Hebrew scholars. You understand? Where y'all at? Where my officers at? All the officers in here, man. Let me get some answers from y'all. You understand? Said the ancient men are in the streets. Officer Aharon said for order. Young man Edward said to give word to the people. You understand? To keep order, spreading wisdom. Officer Yagadar said that. That's correct. They in the streets regulating. You understand? They regulating the community. They teaching, and they teaching as well. You understand? They in the streets regulating. I'm gonna show you in the law what they doing. Now, who's in the streets now? Who's in the streets now? You went out in the streets. If you went out, go outside. You live in an apartment. You live in the inner city somewhere where there's actual streets. Who's in the streets? The ISUPK is in the streets. Damn right, sister. The ISUPK is in the streets. We absolutely in the streets. But right now, everywhere, who's in the streets? The men that God sent are in the streets for sure. We in the streets. We going everywhere. We in the streets. We in the prisons. We everywhere. North, South, Central America. We worldwide across the globe. We are. Wherever blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are, the prophets of God are there and are very needed. But if you go out there now, who is in the streets? The Kia boys is in the streets. That's right. Kids are in the streets. Oh, Aharon got it right. The kids are in the streets. The homeless are in the streets. That's correct. Homeless in the streets. Who are all the homeless? Sister Imandada said homeless. Who are the homeless, sister? Sister Anna said the poor. Sister Deborah, shalom, sister. Yahweh Shemal, Athar Shem Yahweh Shah. The poor. The poor in the streets. That's right. You understand? Who are the homeless right now? Who are the homeless? If you went and you saw homeless and you saw some homeless people, what would you see? Who would you see? The same sister that said the homeless, had said homeless, Sister Imandah. Who would you see? Who would you see? Judah? No, not what tribe, not what tribe, but I'm saying, who would you see? Black people, that's right. Judah, blacks, that's right. If you go to Chicago, the whole tribe of Issachar and Zebulon is sleeping on the streets. You understand? All of Issachar and Zebulon and Asher is sleeping on the streets. You go to New York, the whole tribes were sleeping on the streets. Asher sleeping on the streets. Zebulon sleeping on the street. Issachar sleeping on the streets. Aharon got it. That's the answer. Men. It's mostly men sleeping on the streets. That's who the homeless is. It's mostly men. Now, I'm going to ask you one more time, and I want to see who paying attention. I want to see who thinking. All right. Let's see who thinking. All right. It's mostly men. All right. Now, why are the men homeless? It is mainly us. Sister Anna is right. Young man Edward is right. Sister Ahmadah is right. Why are the men homeless? It's mostly men. Why are they homeless? How did they become homeless? Let's see. Let's see who thinking in here tonight. Oppression, welfare. No, welfare didn't make them homeless. I understand what you're saying, but why are they homeless? How did they become homeless? Can't get jobs or housing. All right. Can't get jobs or housing. Sister Anna said. Ron said oppression. Yagadar said feminist movement or drugs. That's correct. All right. I'll take those. They're homeless. They are homeless. That's correct. Being stripped by the system. Now we get into it. They say by choice, they don't want us to live by the oppressor's rules. That's right. They say by choice. Who says by choice? You understand? The oppressor, the women put them out. All right. Now we get into some stuff here. Women gets housing. Now we get into it. We get into it. This story get ready to come full circle. Not the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. The women get housing. The women put them out. How did the women get to? It says, I tend to speak to them when I see them on the street. All right, sis. Most High in Christ. How were women able to put men out? How did that happen? How did that happen? The gifts go to the women. That's correct. Here we go. See, this has all been a systematic plan from the very beginning. You understand? It's been a systematic plan by our oppressor, and our people were not wise enough to see the play. Our people weren't wise enough to see it because we had leaders that we chose that said the things that was popular that we wanted to do at the time that sounded good. It looked good. Someone with a nice suit, someone who spoke very well, someone who was perceived to have the wisdom of this world and this society. They were perceived to. That's how Barack Obama got elected. They listened to him talk. He spoke so nice. He was a great orator. Same with Farrakhan. Oh, he spoke so wonderful. Malcolm X spoke so wonderful when you heard him. He spoke wonderful. Khalid Muhammad spoke so very wonderful, eloquent speaking. Oh my goodness, it was wonderful to hear these brothers speak. Here's the problem. They weren't who the Lord appointed. And our people did go. It says they don't want to lose the housing and child support system also. In order for them to get housing, the man can go with them. The man cannot go with them. That's correct. The government take care of black women and use their downfalls, poverty against them. That is correct. This was all a systematic plan to destroy our society, to destroy our people. That's why it's important for us to not vote for a leader. That leadership vote tells us and it trains our people to believe in the system as though the system was ever designed to benefit us. This has been the system. I understand what you mean, sis. No sweat. This was the systematic plan from the very beginning. That's why the Lord said, I will raise up a prophet from among them that's going to give you words from the Lord that is going to go above what you think, feel, or see at the time. At the time, it didn't seem like there was anything wrong with integration. You understand? It didn't seem like there was anything wrong. I'm going to read this scripture right here that the Lord warned us about Martin Luther King. thousands of years before he came on the scene. Jeremiah chapter 23 and 25 says, I have heard what the prophets said that have prophesied lies in my name. Meaning there are people that are going out on the streets that have been telling you that they are men of God. And they say things as though they have the authority of God to say them, that God is with them, but they are telling you lies. They are lying to blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and they're doing these lies in the name of God, with God's reputation, or with who our people believe God is. The scriptures say, I've heard what the prophet said, they prophesy lies in my name. What was the lies that the men who everyone thought represented God, what was the lies that they said? Saying, I have dreamed, I have dreamed. You understand? Who said, I have dreamed, I have dreamed? We in Juneteenth, we in the celebrating blacks getting free from slavery month, right? We in Juneteenth. Let's learn about, you understand, black freedom. Let's learn some blackity black stuff since we in the month of Juneteenth. That said that lied, prophesied in God's name. Who said this? Who said, I have dreamed, I have dreamed? MLK. That's right. Young man Edwards said MLK. All those years and decades in the Christian church, and not one time did anybody ever tell you that Martin Luther King was in the Bible. All those Martin Luther King celebrations, all those marches, all those remembering the dream and him pointing the finger in that black and white picture, and everybody gathering, we remembering the dream. 20 years remembering the dream, 30 years remembering the dream, 50 years remembering the dream, 60 years remembering the dream. And we remembering Martin Luther King's dream. And when Martin Luther King's dream started, we had the black side of town and black communities. And we had our own struggles, and man, it was rough trying to survive. But we were on an upward mobility. So by the time we get through the 70s, we get in places, we establishing black universities, centers for economic excellence, black colleges. We steadily on incline. We on the incline. We getting black farms and black homes and black houses and black banks. The black side of town is growing and booming. We taking our skills and trades and building ourselves up brick by brick, clearing our own roads, creating our own towns, our own cities. You understand? We were so successful at building ourselves up that our oppressors spent 100 years of lynching. One of our textbooks in Isupk, 100 years of lynching. Our oppressor and his lynch mobs of poor, jealous, unskilled oppressors would go and lynch the families of prominent and successful black families that had businesses, that had farms, that had stores, there were bankers, that had all kind of skills and abilities to forward the black, everything that everybody talk about. Why don't we have more black businesses? Black people got to do this, and we don't have black stuff. Well, we had those things, and our oppressors spent 100 years all across this country lynching. For those of you that don't know what lynching is, it is when a mob or a gigantic group of oppressors, those of you that don't know what an oppressor is, these are white people, so-called Caucasians. They spent 100 years in cities, state to state, all across the West, the South, the Midwest, all across the East Coast. They spent 100 years burning down black towns, black farms, black businesses, breaking into the doors, snatching mothers, sons, daughters, grandmothers, fathers, beating them terribly with sticks and bricks and hanging us from trees, many cases setting us on fire because we were black, because we were successful, because we were educated, because we were creating black wealth and black economics for our people, and their people were poor. Their people could not do that because they didn't have the education. That's why they had labor unions created. That's why they had mandatory schooling created. Before, if you were a young black man or a young black woman, just like the other nations of people do, you would learn a trade or a skill that was something that the other sisters or the other brothers or some uncle or cousin throughout the neighborhood, you would learn a skill or a trade, as what is called now, that would be passed down to you. And that's how you would get your occupation. You would learn to be a teacher. You would learn to be a teacher. You would learn to be a banker. You would learn to be a pipe welder or a plumber or an electrician. You understand? You would learn to be a beautician and do hair or be a chef or to clean houses or how to clean, different things or how to plant, work crops and deal with agriculture. Things that actually make a city, a community function. You will learn about medicine, about skills, how to can your foods and properly preserve things. A lot of the things that now are a part of modernized society were things that we did for ourselves because we were separate. You ever heard the saying that iron sharpens iron? Well, it was just us together. And with just us together, we came up with so many amazing inventions. This laptop, the IBM computer, was created by a black man. The laptop was created by a black man. The traffic light, so that the cars don't smash into each other on the road, that came from a black man. The catalytic converter, so that the engine will work in all of these cars you see going up and down the street, all your buses and trains, or to do the conversion of that electricity to make your motor and your car engine go, to make your vehicles and trucks go. That was created by a black man. You understand? The cell phone was created by a black man. The super soakers, the GPS, the caller ID, the fiber optic cables for your HDMI cords, for your high speed internet. You understand? The dial up, the touch tone telephone. You understand? All of those things came from so called blacks and Latinos. They all came from our people. And our oppressor needed to separate our unity. They needed to separate us. They needed to wipe out the unity that we had. And they were able to wipe out the unity that we had using Christian preachers. Because the most famous Christian preacher of all times, Jeremiah 23 and 25, he prophesied lies in God's name, saying, I have a dream. I have a dream that the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners shall sit together at the table of brotherhood. Well, we now can sit at that table. Here's the problem with sitting at that table of brotherhood with a slave master. Your forefathers were in slavery. And as they got out of slavery, they built tables so that you didn't have to sit at your slave master's table. What Martin Luther King did is called integration. Integration is when all races of people come together. And what that integration did is it took the tables that black fathers and uncles and grandfathers built for you and for me and for your sons and your daughters. It took the tables at the restaurants, from the farms, from the black side of town, that 100% of that wealth went to us and our side of town and our community, where we didn't fight each other, where we didn't steal each other's cars, where we did not sell drugs to each other, where we didn't shoot each other. We didn't get together in groups by the hundred, city to city, wearing different colors, so that the exact same black man from 4th Street or from Portsmouth could go and shoot the same black man from Norfolk, living the exact same life. We didn't do that. We didn't unalive our babies so that black women could go to school and get an education at the expense of slaughtering 20 million black babies through Planned Parenthood and abortion clinics. We didn't do that to have a career. And we had jobs, we had families, we had homes. We weren't homeless on the street the way that Sister Imada says she sees brothers homeless on the street now. We had families, we had jobs, we had communities, we had love for one another. We loved our hair, we loved our noses, we loved our skin. We loved our brothers. We loved our sisters. We treated each other the way that we wanted to be treated. We looked out for each other. We had brotherhood and sisterhood. Sisters weren't in the street fighting, you understand, barefoot on the asphalt, fighting and pulling each other's hair out and ripping each other's clothes off and beating each other half to death in the street. Sisters weren't doing that. You understand? Sisters weren't putting a man out the house, throwing him out on the street so that he's homeless everywhere in the city. We didn't have the government assistance. We didn't have that saying something to us that they did not say to white women, which is who the government assistance was created for. It was not created for black families. It was created for our oppressor and his families. The same poor oppressors who would go city to city burning down black towns like Rosewood, Florida, like Tulsa, Oklahoma. You understand? Like Lincoln, Nebraska, so many cities. In Philadelphia in the 80s, you understand, the police department in Philadelphia dropped bombs. They dropped dynamite from the sky and burned down 5 blocks of black-owned homes. That's what they did. So when you see brothers and sisters homeless, there was a government coordinated plan, city to city, state to state, to take away the housing of the blacks and Latinos that you see homeless on the streets today. There was a coordinated plan to take away the fathers, to separate black mothers and black fathers. There was a coordinated plan to offer resources that were so desperately needed to survive in exchange for food, for housing, for clothing, for the men that would sit in the streets to regulate the city, to regulate the house, to regulate the family, to regulate the communities. That's why the ancient men sat in the streets. Who's in your streets today? Children and police. The police are in the streets today. That ancient man was regulating the neighborhood. He was regulating the stores. Nobody was running into the store, snatching candy bars and running down the street because we made our own candy. We baked our own bread. We made our own sandwiches. We slaughtered our own meat. We grew our own food. We made our own shoes, made our own clothes, pants, dresses, everything. Whatever we needed, we made for ourselves. It wasn't easy. It was a struggle, but we made our own way of life here. And the United States of America needed to destroy that in order to strengthen America. That's why Abraham Lincoln said, if I could have saved the Union without freeing the slaves, I would have done it. I don't care anything about these slaves. But for the benefit of making a better United States of America and to fight the fact that the South has all the labor force because the slaves were getting imported and sold to plantations throughout the South, making them have all the manpower and the labor force. So he abolished slavery, had nothing to do with any care for our people. America does not care about us. If you are a black man or woman, Latino, Native American, if you are a young brother or sister, America does not care about you. The presidents, the governors, the leadership, the spirit of this place is not for you. America would rather see you in a dress, if you are a brother, to live an alternative lifestyle because they know that you will disproportionately face losing your life to the HIV virus, to herpes, to syphilis, to hepatitis. They know by promoting this alternative lifestyle to you that you are more likely to lose your life much sooner than everyone else. And knowing this, they will use your rappers, they will use your entertainers, they will use your movie stars, they will use everyone and everything to push this lifestyle on you so that you can be destroyed, because that is what's best for America. And you have to understand, brother, that life is about warfare. You have to understand, sister, life is about warfare. This is not our land. This is not our home. Everything is looking to destroy you. Everything is looking to destroy your people. That's why the scriptures say the ancient men sat in the streets because the ancient men had the most experience. The ancient men remembers the many generations. The ancient men remember the warfare. The ancient men remember what it's going to take to make sure that this community stays the way that it is, that the next generation doesn't sell all the black-owned businesses and sell off all the black-owned farmland because they're tired and they don't want to work fields. They don't want to deal with agriculture. They want to do the easy thing. They want to take the easy route. They don't want to have to deal with the burden of doing what's best for their people. That's what a drug dealer is. He don't want the burden of doing what's best for their people. He's selfish. He's an individual. He's concerned about himself because the leaders have failed him or her, and they were concerned about themselves. You understand? All of the wealth and resources that America gives to black leaders, they just keep for themselves. The Christian church collects $11 billion tax free every single year from black people, just the black churches. That's every dime, penny, quarter that we need for everything. Better jobs, better hours. We could be working a 4-day work week so that you have enough time to spend with your kids, to get rested, to get the proper health care, to take care of your children. How long do you get, sisters? Sisters, you have a baby. You deliver a baby. How long does your slavery give you before you got to get back to work? You got a brand new baby, a whole new life to care for that need to be suckled and fed and taken care of and washed and cleaned and bonded and watched and nurtured and put down and held. How long does this oppressor give you, you understand, before they require you to come back to work? How long you sisters get? How long they giving these days? Or the last time? How long? 6 weeks, 3 months. One sister said 3 months. One sister said 6 weeks. That means for 9 months or more, or less, some, your entire life has been restructured. Your body has been restructured. Your blood pressure has been restructured. Got some person sitting on your bladder, breathing your air, breathing your oxygen, eating your food. You got to double up on everything you do because there's a life growing inside of you. And then you push that life out. You got to recover. You're tired. You're sore. And then you get 6 weeks before you are ordered to report back to slavery. That's hell. That's oppression, man. That's captivity. Like, that's not real life. That's not living. You understand? Like, that's not living. That's not the way God appointed life. This place has us in slavery. You understand? Like, that's not normal. Like, what can you do? What in life could you do that you could compete successfully? You can complete something in 6 weeks. Oh, 8 if you get a C-section. All right. Because I'm sure 8 weeks is enough time to heal from a major surgery. I'm sure 8 weeks will do it. That'll fix everything. You understand? That'll fix it all. Those 8 weeks, you'll be back to normal. You understand? Won't be any complications. You understand? Won't be any nerve damage or complications or postpartum this or this, that, or swelling or anything else. All of that, everything will be fine. You'll be good to go in 8 weeks. Oh, and some stranger, if you don't have a mother around or sisters that can support you, you understand? Some stranger is going to be entrusted with the care of this brand new baby that just got here. For 10 to 12 hours a day, some stranger has to take your baby. And you're supposed to just go back to work and pretend like, well, I did have a person, but, I hope everything's going all right. But let me not think about that. Hello, can I help you today, sir? Like, the hell is that? Like, that's why the Lord said the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Only an animal would tell you you got 8 weeks to get it together, and then you got to be back here in my office after you just had a baby. Like, what the hell is that? You understand? Like, that's the cruelty of this place. Like, that's not real life. Like, that's not how God set life up. The Lord set it up. If you a woman, You having your cycle every month. You're supposed to have a whole separate place where you just have nothing that you are responsible for. For that whole time period, you understand why you on your cycle, you don't touch nothing, you don't, you're not expected to have any responsibilities during this time that you are on your flower, as the Bible calls it. You understand? Not this society. Esau wants you to go to work. Everything's supposed to function as normal. That's why everything is so backwards here. The Lord did not make a woman and a man to live the same life. The way that the Lord made a woman was not to be, 24/7 in somebody's office running the damn empire. That's not why the Lord made a woman. You understand? Like this society, and that ties in exactly to why that this government would give all the resources to a sister only if she got rid of her man, because then you would by default have to marry yourself to your job, your education, your career, which makes you married to the empire. You understand? And that tears you away from what the Lord made you. Could you imagine the lion without the lioness? What is she living her? How is she living her life without the lion? What's she supposed to do when the hyenas show up? What's she supposed to do to catch? You understand? When all the rest of natural life happens, what is she supposed to do? Like if the Lord made a 500-pound lioness, they got all the sharp claws and tools that can hunt and take down prey and all of that. If the Lord made her to need the lion to survive, then why in the world did that sisters get confused and think that you don't need a man to survive? Like that's a part of the programming of America and the Christian church. You understand? That's why the Lord said that the ancient men sat in the streets. The ancient men is in the streets making sure that everything gets regulated the proper way. You understand? But Martin Luther King had a dream. And his dream that he dreamed was for us to take our oppressors' culture. And we got it right now. We got our oppressors' culture. We got it. And it's working wonders for America. You understand? That's why the Lord wants us to get back to the proper spirit. Exodus chapter 15 and verse 3, the scriptures say that the Lord is a man of war. That's why the young men was dressed in glorious and warlike apparel. You understand? Because the ancient men raised up young warriors to deal with the affairs and the needs of the city, to make sure that we weren't being overrun by the gods of the other nations and the people of the other nations. That's why the Lord said, I will raise up a prophet from among thee. All right. From there, we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse so like we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 9. We're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 9. We're going to pick up from there. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 9, it says, and I spake unto you at that time. This was Moses speaking. I am not able to bear you myself alone. Remember, this is the man that the Lord put in charge. Moses said, I can't deal with all of your problems by myself. I can't. The Lord appointed Moses and gave him the power, but the Lord gave Moses some wisdom on how to wield his power. And this is how our nation has always functioned. And this is why the ancient men are sitting in the streets and the young men is dressed ready for war in glorious and warlike apparel. That's what you see the Isupk wear. We ain't wearing no purple with baby doll tassels on our t-shirt, looking like a damn hula skirt. That's not what we wearing in here. We got studs and fringes and spikes, shades and boots and fringes, you understand? We're like warlike apparel. They used to call us, you understand, say like we dress like Mortal Kombat, you understand? That's what they used to say when I was young, standing on the street with a heavyweight championship belt, 600 knockouts, you understand? Undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, standing on the street corner, regulate, you understand? Why is that important? I'm going to get to it in just a moment. I'm going to get to it. But this is what the Lord said. You understand? Moses said, I'm not able to deal with all of your problems by myself. Verse 10, the Lord, your power, have multiplied you. We multiplied. We everywhere. And behold, ye are this day as the stars of heaven for a multitude. Meaning there's so many of you, I can't count you like stars. Like if you look up at night and you in a real decent city that's not covered in clouds or smog, if you get out down south in the country somewhere, you see stars everywhere. Certain cities you can go, you can see stars much better. You understand? If the sky ain't full of pollution and toxins, you understand? The Lord said, verse 11, the most high power of your fathers. Remember, your fathers is important. These are the instructions that the God of our fathers gave us. This is how we are supposed to be a people. Nobody said to change anything. Change came from us joining the other nations of people. The scriptures, God said, behold, I change not. Seek ye the old paths. Stand in the way and ask for the old paths, the good way, wherein thy fathers have walked. That's what we're supposed to be following, not the new way. The new way don't work. The new way, you understand, tell a sister to unalive her baby. That's the new way. The new way, tell the brat to go and get with a woman, and you call yourself having a family when you go get a damn sperm bank to have a baby. You don't get a baby without a man, silly. You can't have it. You understand? Somebody's supposed to teach you as a child. You can't have this. You can't have a baby without a man. You're a dummy. You get two women together getting a sperm donation from a bank, and that's a damn nightmare in itself. Who in the hell thought to create a bank collecting sperm? Could you imagine what type of animal you have to be to go and set up a business to collect human sperm and offer human sperm to strangers? Like, do you understand what type of beast this oppressor is? Like, you creating a breeding center for people to not have a family. You don't get the benefits of having a family. There's a man and there's a woman. You don't get the fruits of a man and a woman joining together by trying to do it some other way other than the way that God set it up. You don't get it if you put two men together. You don't get kids. You don't get it if you put two women together. You don't get kids. If you take a woman and you chop her breasts off and you do whatever, God knows whatever, to try to make her think that she's a man, it's still a woman inside of there. Those are still a woman down there. You can't go and find and pretend that you do the opposite to a man and try to mix and match and do jigsaw, Lego puzzle garbage. It's madness. It's a bunch of damn confusion, and it doesn't work. But some animal decided they're going to collect the seed of random men across the country and put it in a bank and offer it to, like, it's absolute foolishness. You understand? And this is what the Lord warned us about joining the other nations of people. We didn't see all of this. God saw it. And that's why he said, do not join them. See, when Adam and Eve was in the Garden of Eden, the Lord told Adam to not eat of any of these trees in the garden. The Lord gave Adam a woman to help him and for him to be in charge and watch over her. And Adam fell weak under his woman, who fell weak for the serpent who deceived her. You understand? Which is where you get the spirit of the oppressor, to deceive a woman, like telling her that she can get together with another woman and go to some bank and get sperm from a random person to try to make a baby, like the brat and Brittany Griner. You understand? Like that's the Bible says that God is not the author of confusion. And it's a whole ton of confusion going on, trying to find new ways to do things other than the way that God set everything up. All right. So this is what the scripture said. This is why there was a need for the ancient men to be in the streets so that they can regulate stuff on the spot. Deuteronomy 1:11 said, the most high power of your fathers make you 1,000 times so many more as you are and bless you, even as he have promised you. He thinking to himself, he like, man, It's so many of you, and you multiplying, you steadily having babies, your families is getting bigger and bigger. The Lord has blessed you. It's not even looked at as a child as a blessing nowadays. Like that's how it's supposed to be when the Lord set it up. Like if we were following and obeying the Lord the way that He said, those $11 billion that Christian preachers get, that $11 is supposed to be going to Commander General Yahanna. And Commander General Yahanna would have entire farms, entire cities of farms and agriculture programs, housing programs, food programs, sewing GED programs. We'd have our own separate school systems, our own stuff. Would nobody be slaving on the Sabbath day? You understand? We'd have all of the resources and everything that we need, just like every other nation of people does for their own, except our people are following who we chose, which is really who the oppressor told us to choose. You understand? You never hear no day celebrating Denmark Vesey and Nat Turner. Ain't no Toussaint Louverture Day, since they love, freedom fighters and the cowboy and John Wayne and Dirty Harry and Terminator and Rambo. You'll never hear nothing them bigging up Denmark Vesey and Nat Turner and John Wayne. Like not John Wayne, but Toussaint Louverture fighting against the French and fighting against the British and fighting against, the oppressors that got us in slavery. You don't hear about them. You understand? They throw you a little Django, and then they let every oppressor in Hollywood say the N word for 3 hours straight. You understand? But this is what happened. And we are undoing the damage as to what happened and changing the minds of our people to turn back so that we can be ourselves, the people that the Lord created us again. Deuteronomy 1:12, he said, how can I myself alone bear your cumbrance? Your cumbrance is your weight. You understand? And your burden, all the things that you need, all of your needs and your strife, all of your problems, all the beef and issues and arguments between brothers and sisters, between brothers, between sisters, all throughout our cities, our tribes, everywhere where we are. How can this one prophet that the Lord did appoint, how can he deal with all of this? The Lord is getting ready to give these instructions. Take you wise men and understanding, meaning these men understand things. That's why the ancient men is sitting in the streets. They in the streets talking about good things. What are the good things? The understanding and known amongst your tribe. That's why they're sitting in the streets. Everybody know them. You understand? That's General so-and-so. That's Captain so-and-so. That's so-and-so. You understand? It's Captain Akkad. That's General Hazayan. That's General Shalmar. General Kabbalah Mab. That's General Katham Kabal. You understand? Take wise men and understanding and known amongst your tribes. You know them. You know their work. You know Captain Meshach, Captain Akkad Abarayim. You understand? You know Captain Azanayah. You know Captain Degalgabar, Captain you understand? Gadal Har, Captain Yatazak, Captain Kahuntham Yad, Captain Nayathak, Captain Meshach Mayum. You understand? Captain Sakawar. You know them. They're known amongst your tribes. You understand? You know them where they are and make them rulers over you. That's why the ancient men are sitting in the street and they got young men in glorious and warlike apparel. Why? So that the young men can do what the Lord instructed to be done in the law. That's what we're reading right here. And ye answered me, meaning the people responded back and said, the thing which thou hast spoken is good for us to do. This is a good thing. You understand? The Lord didn't force these rules on us. The Lord gave us the terms to the covenant and the instructions, and he laid out the rules, the guidelines, the consequences. You understand? He didn't trick us into anything. Everything that he said, all right, y'all good with this? Y'all gonna do this? And we said, we will do. This is good. I'm gonna do this, this, and this. Y'all good with this? You understand? They say, yep, this is good. We will do. We agreed to these terms and these contracts. You go in that Christian church, you don't know what you agreeing to. You go in that Muslim mosque, you don't know what you agreeing to. You go in that temple to be a Buddhist, you don't know what the hell you agreeing to. You understand? You don't know what you done signed yourself and your kids and your family up for. You don't know what you agreeing to. But when you come to serve the Lord did not trick the children of Israel into anything. That's why it's so 600 laws being explained in detail. So the people hearing this, they say, yep, we agree. We agree. You understand? Just so that you know, that's why he's saying this. He's saying the people, they answered and said, yep, this is a good idea. We agree. We agree with this. Because this is a term, these are the terms of a contract that the Lord made with them. Just to show you as a sidebar how unrealistic the Christian church is. Everybody make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, hit that likes, you understand. Make sure y'all hit those things there so that the algorithm can take this and share it everywhere. You understand? And share it everywhere it needs to go. All right. So that's why this is set up there like that. All right. So it said, the thing which thou hast spoken is good for us to do. We agreed for this. This is a communication that's going on just like the terms of the contract, everything that the Lord laid out. So I took the chief of your tribes, the ancient men that everybody knows with their reputation, wise men. You can go to them for counsel. They have wisdom. They know the laws and rules. They've been rolling and standing with the Most High for a period of time and known. You know them. They have a reputation. You know the works that they've done and the things that they've done in the community and throughout the city. And the other cities know them. The nation knows them and made them heads over you. Put them in charge over your cities. Captains over thousands, and captains over hundreds, and captains over 50s, and captains over tens, and officers among your tribes. Why? Because this is how you keep a nation in order. Right now, the officers that are in your city is Norfolk Police Department, Portsmouth and Petersburg Police Department, Henrico County Police, Richmond Police, City Police, Alexandria and Lafayette Police. You understand? That's who's in charge of the cities now. And they can't stop shootings. They can't stop the Kia boys. They can't stop the young brothers and sisters from fighting all in the Lynn Haven Mall and at Patrick Henry. They can't stop all the robberies at the Popeyes and the Church's Chicken. They can't get rid of poverty. They can't get anybody off of drugs. They can't stop the kidnapping and the alternative lifestyle and all the STDs and abortions and families breaking up. Brothers leaving sisters, throwing them away, leaving them alone with the children to raise babies by themselves. Sisters taking brothers' kids and holding them ransom and running to other states and going having sex with other men. They can't put things in proper order the way that the Lord said. You understand? They can't enforce that you don't get to leave your woman because you're tired of whatever. You can't throw her away because you decide you found something better. You're going to be forced to stay with her. You can't leave your man because somebody made you a better offer on Instagram or something. You're going to be forced to stay with them. You can't be out here in the streets dressed like this. We got a dress code. You can't dress however you want because you will not influence the young brothers and sisters to go be Sexy Red and Megan Thee Stallion. You aren't allowed to say that. No, you can't say that. We can't serve other gods. No. Can't nobody tell us about serving no other God. They in the street regulating to make sure that the Lord's protection does not leave this city and the land does not fall to chaos. That's why they were in the streets. They weren't sitting somewhere in some church building in Stacey Adams in a damn Easter suit, squealing and sliding up and down the pews, while outside of the door, everybody getting robbed and abused and purses snatched and cars stolen. That's useless to us. You understand? Like, this is completely opposite of the spirit that the Christian church has taught us about God. That's why the Bible say the Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. And the men that serve him are men of war. That's why you see the UPK rolling and talking and looking and speaking and moving the way that we do. Life is about warfare. You can't keep this nation safe without warfare. Why you think Esau got an army and a navy and air force and marines and a coast guard and a space force and a national guard? You understand? Because that's what it takes to secure and take care of his nation in a carnal way. Well, we got to turn back and serve the Most High. And these are the instructions the Lord gave. Verse 16 says, and I charge your judges at that time, your judges. Who do you go to get judgment now? Some judge is going to approve your woman leaving you, like Imam Shumpert and Tiana Taylor some judge is going to approve your woman leaving you. You understand? And getting all of your kids. And you're going to pay her ransom damn near for the rest of their life if she wants to allow you to see your kids. You're going to pay her a ransom fee if she wants to. She got all the rights and authority and government backing to take the kids and hold them ransom up until the point, you understand, that if you don't come up with that ransom money every month, that the oppressor is going to send out his officers to go and take away your freedom and put you in jail. You understand? But the Lord gave us judges. We're supposed to go to our own judges, not to Esau's judge. Esau's judge put somebody on child support, and in 15 years, they're going to be sentencing the child to jail when he's still a car, when he becomes a Kia boy, because you allowed the woman to throw the father out the damn house because the preacher said, woman, thou art loose, and God know your heart, and you don't want to be unequally yoked with a broke man. You understand? And he can't get his stuff together. That means that you're supposed to step over him and go find you something better to get what you want, live out your Disney movie fantasy life. Or be like Usher and leave the one I'm with and start a new relationship with you after you done spent 5, 6, 7, 10 years with this sister. You just supposed to throw her away to go get something younger or whatever it is that you found. You're not allowed to do that. The officers the Lord appointed was not going to allow you to do that. You're going to face severe punishment and chastisement and be forced to do the right thing. Now we have an entire society where nobody is forced to do the right thing. Everybody do whatever the hell they want. Everybody individual. Like, this is the spirit of the Lord. And the opposite of having the spirit of the Lord is what we have now. It may seem like, well, this is no fun. This is against my freedom and this and that. But what you remove out of that is you remove everybody getting their car stolen. You remove not being able to trust brothers and sisters because everyone is forced to live up to a standard where I'm considering my actions based on what is best for you, not just what's best for me. It might be best for me now to have fun still in your car, but it's probably not going to be best for you. That's why the Lord said these commandments, if a man say that I love God and break the commandments that I give him concerning how he's supposed to treat his brother or his sister that he see every day, that man is a liar and he hate God and God hated him. You understand? Let not that man think he shall receive anything from the Lord. All right. That's the proper spirit that would fix stuff. And that's why the Lord appointed these men with the spirit of the Lord to be these captains and officers. That's what's being raised up in the Isupk so that we can fix our people. Like, this is what the Lord was saying. You understand? All right. So the Lord set up captains, officers. That's exactly what we got in here. Verse 16, and I charge your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, between the children of your people. You are supposed to be taking your Black, Latino, and Native American problems to a fellow Black, Latino, or Native American brother with the Spirit of God on him to hear the issues between your problems and measure the proper judgment with the Spirit of the Lord. You understand? You go to Esau, Esau say, all right, you don't want to do it no more, fine. The kids go to her, the house go to her, you get the, you get whatever. She gone, you free to go. Oh, you don't want to do this no more. All right, it's over. Pay me a couple of $1,000, pay the fee, pay the fee, pay the fee. I'll sign it. Like the Lord said, do no unrighteousness in judgment. A poor man stealing is not supposed to get 25 years in prison because since he got an adult charge as a child, he hasn't been able to work a regular job. And if he want to eat a piece of bread, he got to go steal it now. Like, our oppressive society is set up to prey on you, to prey on our people, because we don't realize that we are in a war. We don't realize that we are in a battle. It's battle being waged on us at all sides. Like, we don't realize it. You understand? So the Lord said, I charge your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is with him. Saying the stranger, the brother's just coming from out of town. Just because you out of town, that don't mean you're supposed to get abused and taken advantage of because you not from this city or from this town. We got rules on how to deal with a brother or sister that comes from out of town. You understand? All right. It says, "Ye shall not respect persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small," meaning the one that don't have a lot of wealth and power and status, as well as the great, the one that does have a lot of wealth and power and status. "Ye shall not be afraid of the face of man." Don't worry about their face. Don't worry about them being upset, them liking it, agreeing with it, smiling, whatever. Don't worry about none of that. For the judgment is the Most High's. And the cause that is too hard for you, if it become too difficult for you to deal with it, bring it unto me, and I will hear it. Bring it to Moses. "And I commanded you at that time all the things which ye should do." You understand? "And I commanded you at that time." These were the commandments that the Lord gave us. All right. And that's how our problems and our situations are supposed to be solved, going to our own people. You understand? You got a problem with a brother, you're supposed to be able to go to the men of the Lord so that they can give you the proper counsel. Like, "Listen, brother, I know y'all got a beef for an issue, but listen, if all the brothers that got a beef in an issue, if y'all can't settle this issue that you have, you'll mess around and destroy the whole city. If you allowed to stand out in front of all the businesses, the customer's not going to come. If you in the parking lot, getting high, loitering in front of the business, why would the people come and shop at the business? You'll make the business owners leave the neighborhood. You'll make the businesses leave the city because you mess up the business. Then when you and your kids need a job in 10, 15 years or next month or next week, ain't no more businesses in the city because you didn't destroy the reputation of all the business. You're going to hurt yourself and everyone else in the city. Like, we don't understand the thought process and pattern, but sitting in front of Esau's judge, getting ready to get 5, 10 years, that's not going to fix the problem. You understand? That's why we were supposed to be judged and set up by our own. You understand? And that's what the other nations do. You don't think they having problems in the Chinese and Arab and Asian and East Indian community? They're not going before Esau's judge system to be treated and get the minority level justice. If they can avoid it, they're going to deal with their issues from their community leaders and their ancient men. They got power and rank back from their home and in their communities and their leaders, and they're going to settle the issue what it is, and you never even know about it. That's how it's supposed to be with us. But our leaders that were voted and elected as officials, they take our issues to Esau's court so that Esau can deal with it because they don't have the spirit of the Lord or the authority, you understand, to deal with it from the Most High. So then that just put our people in a whole jam up. You understand? Seek ye the old pattern. Like this, what the Lord said. The Lord said to seek the old paths. The old way works. The Lord didn't change anything. Our people changed. That's why the Lord told us don't join another nation of people. You understand? As we get separate, as we turn back and obey the Most High, we get stronger and stronger and stronger. Half of our race is strung out on drugs. Just about half of all Black people in America is strung out on drugs. Now think of all the brothers and sisters that you've known and met in your regular life and world that is not in the truth, that is on weed and pills and syrup and cocaine and Percocets, all the brothers and sisters you've known just in your years. You understand? All of those things there. And as far as our people is considered and learned, we can't, that's just a part of the Black community, smoking weed, getting high, cigarettes, Newports. But you come in here with the spirit of the Lord, and guess what? Them same brothers and sisters don't get high anymore. You understand? Don't smoke anymore. Don't get high anymore. Don't shoot up anymore. No more Percocets, no more weed, no more cigarettes. You understand? We were trained on how to deal with the problems. That's why the Lord said he sent the officers and the captains to teach you how to hear the cumbrance and the burdens of your people. Our people have been taught to run and get high to deal with your stress. Well, now you learn how to deal with your problems without getting high. You understand? Without needing a cigarette, without rolling up a backwood or a Percocet or some cocaine or some crack or some powder. You understand? Like this is absolutely revolutionary. America needs our people to be destroyed. You know how dangerous you are? A brother or sister that will not get high, that actually does obey the Lord. Don't you know we started obeying the Lord in Egypt and the Lord wiped out the Egyptian economy and their army? Like it's a dangerous thing for you to serve the Most High, to this empire, to be united with your people. You know how dangerous that is if blacks and Latinos come together and Native Americans come together and serve the real God of our fathers that has the power. You brothers and sisters coming into the truth, changing your lives, man. Brothers and sisters getting their names. You understand? Like Sister Imadah getting her name. Sister Hadassah getting her name. You understand? Brothers coming in, getting their officership, standing with the Most High, building up the force to serve the Most High. You understand? Why you think Russia is down in Cuba, swimming around with nuclear subs in a strike carrier group? You understand? The Lord is speeding up the time for this place because brothers and sisters is waking up and changing their lives and finally turning back to serve the Lord. We turn everywhere. We turn to Islam. We turn to selling records. We turn to the NFL and NBA. We turn to selling dope. Turn to OnlyFans. Turn to prostituting. Turn to heroin, cocaine, crack, weed, pills, sertraline, mollies. Then turn to stealing cars and chop shopping and the military, the Democratic, liberal, Republican Party, alternative lifestyle, the church, the mosque. We turn every way possible. And now our people finally turning back to the Most High. And the Lord sent Russia from the other side of the world with nuclear destroyers right down there. The United States Navy and Russia is in the same waters facing each other right now down by Florida and in that bay down where Cuba is, right down there where Florida is. Like the Lord is sending this place up. The curtain is going up in America, man. This place is getting ready to be over. You understand? We can ready to come out of this captivity. And that's why it's imperative that every brother and sister lock all the way in your spirit. Come in here, learn your Hebrew, learn the prayers, learn the salutes, change your life, keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Be there. Classes, high holy days, be in there, man. The Lord getting ready to tear this place apart. And you are going to see it. It's not going to be like Iraq and Afghanistan is someplace on the other side of the world you won't see. The Lord is going to destroy this place before your eyes. You're going to see it. We're all going to see it. You understand? That's the promise of the covenant that he made. And then he's going to send our king back to finish it off. You understand? It's a glorious time. It's definitely a glorious time. So much prophecies unveiling right now, man, that the Lord was talking about, that the Lord sent the prophets to say for generations and generations, and nobody knew. Nobody got to see it, but they took the Lord's word and credit the Lord's word as faith. And now it's coming to pass, man. It's coming to pass. You understand? So Most High in Christ, damn right. Give the Lord a hand. Most High in Christ, man. Most High in Christ. Like the Lord is delivering us, giving our nation back, thanks to our King who laid his life down and rose up the disciples and taught and raised those brothers up to go now and fight to bring this nation back. You understand? And they're gonna pay for what they have done. The nations are all gathered together. That's why they all here in America. Right now in the news, they're pushing for everyone to despise the Latino brothers and sisters, man. That's the spirit that's in this air. It's for everyone to focus and despise the Latinos. When in reality, the number one illegal immigrant in America is the Chinese. They're closing that Darien Gap. The Darien Gap is an area kind of like a jungle going from Colombia in South America to the end of Central America, which is Panama. And there's an area where it's got forests, it's got some jungle. You understand? All of those things in there is known as the Darien Gap. And Venezuela had a deal worked out with the Chinese that if you were a Chinese, you could come to Venezuela and you didn't need a passport. And the Chinese, because they are communists and Venezuela is communist, and the Chinese went and abused that liberty that they were given and dumped an ungodly amount of Moabites into Venezuela. And the Moabites is coming and trekking and walking through Venezuela all the way up through the Darien Gap through Panama, the same routes that the Latino brothers and sisters have been walking trying to get to America. Except that the Moabites have instructions, that they got videos on TikTok with instructions of where they are supposed to go in America. They weren't going through that same Texas border that the rest of, Levi and Issachar and Zebulon and Asher were going through. They got instructions and navigation with smartphones, giving them maps and instructions to go through a border in Arizona with a special gate that they can enter, that they have places already set for them to go. The Chinese been busted with illegal police stations in New York, right in the middle of New York City. They had to shut that down. They got illegal grow houses and weed farms all in America, all over. They done busted hundreds of them, legal and illegal ones. Those are just the ones that they caught. They buying up farmland all across America, all throughout the South, all in Mississippi, all in you understand, in Arizona, acres and hundreds of acres of land, because they understand what is coming. They understand what is coming, and they are preparing to stand for their team, for their people. You understand? But because our people as a whole is not in tune with what the Most High want, everybody is able to exploit us. You understand? But the Lord getting ready to wrap. They got another thing coming. The Lord gonna wrap all of this up. They're gonna all get sucked into World War III. All of them. You understand? So with that, we're gonna go ahead and end it there. Most High in Christ, the water y'all coming out, tuning into the class. You understand? All right. So we're gonna give the security announcements. We're the ISUPK. We start out at 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Rule for new brother and sister: when a brother and sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to learn and shed themselves to the world. All right. After this 6-month period, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to get counsel from the head to speak to a brother or sister. You understand? Let your brother, let your camp leader know you would like to speak to or court a brother or sister. You understand? And they're going to let you know if it's approved, and reach out to the camp leader, the whole process, everything. That's the process what you would do. You would get counsel to speak to a brother or sister. You understand? After that 6-month period, the brother and sister would court each other. After that 6-month period, you understand, the brother and sister would get permission from the head to marry. You understand? That's the whole process, how it goes in here. All right. Tithes, which is a commandment. 10% of any penny of any increase the Most High gives to you, you go right to isupk.com. Put your tithes in there to email you receipt right to your email. Upcoming holy convocations, we just completed last week, Most High in Christ. We just completed the closing of the Feast of First Fruits, Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shai. You understand? We just completed that. The next high holy day is coming up. Should be the memorial blowing of trumpets. It's in a few months. Everybody will be notified in that proper time frame by the respective Sabbath service high holy day departments, whatever city camp you're in. All right. Okay. And lastly, if any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, they're to be in all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, war scarf. Make sure you contact the ISUPK school in whatever city or state that you are in. Let them know that I want to get in this work. I want to be a trooper in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. Get in this warfare, get in this body, get in this work, get it on. You understand? Contact the school, whatever city, state, country, province you're in, depending on where you are. You understand? Sisters, make sure you contact the school as well. Let whatever school know you want to be a sister in the actual school. You cannot be a trooper, but you do still need to contact the Isupk school wherever you are, whatever city or state that you're in, so they can tell you exactly what they need to do. Get in there the high holy days, get your check-ins, everything done. All right, so you could get in here, lock all the way in officially into the school. All right, and with that, I'm gonna give one courtesy salute to the brothers, men of Israel. Is there any age range to be a trooper? Well, the first thing is you got to be a brother in the school. That's the first thing. You got to be a brother in the school. That's the first thing. You understand? A trooper, you understand? We get young men in here, get some teenagers. You understand? A teenager, it depends. Get a brother up into the school, get a feel for the brother, get him in here, get him trained up. But he has to be in the school. It's not necessarily an age range. You know what I'm saying? 17, 18, 19, around that time. We don't do things by number. Like we don't do birthdays. Things are not done by number specifically. You understand? So you got some young brother, any young brother, anything like that, man. Have them brothers contact their school, man. Get them brothers in these classes, bring them in here, have them sign in. You understand? If they want to be a brother in the school, that's what they do, man. Get them up in here. You understand? All brothers and sisters, children, kids, babies, every age, everybody needs to be in this school. Everybody. Everybody should be in our classes. Everybody should be in this school. All kind of things is attacking our people from every angle. You don't even know what brothers and sisters is going through. That's why the Lord said the leader that will be among our people, it will be one of us, and it will be a prophet of the Lord. And the prophet that the Lord will put in charge, you understand, is going to appoint captains and officers with the spirit of the Lord that he trained and raised up to see things spiritually. You don't know what young brothers and sisters is going through today. Brothers and sisters is suicidal. Brothers and sisters is, got all kind of drug problems and all kind of alternative problems and confusions and health problems and mental problems and all kind of stuff. You understand that, of course, the prophets of the Lord would be able to see, but many of our people don't have a spiritual eye to be able to see it. So yeah, everybody, man, get them up in here. Get them up in here, all right? All right. But yeah, so tune into class every Friday night. The Hebrew language class, next class coming up there. Learn to read, write, and speak that Lashawan Kwadash, our language you understand. Tune in right here. With that, to the brothers, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbarakatham. To the sisters, Yahweh Shamar Alathun. By Hashem Yahweh Shai, I underbar sis, no sweat. With that,
Talk to me. Played the horn of the Lord and served other gods. Remember the days of old, we the lost tribes. They don't believe the Bible. They say a white man wrote it, but still celebrate them holidays from white men, don't they? Like Christmas and Thanksgiving appetites. I don't even see my closest family half the time. Going out ain't an option, I won't compromise. I got integrity and more heart than Valentine. I retweeted a book they sell on Amazon, owned by the same folks that told them to apologize. Remember slaves couldn't read, wasn't allowed. So it's meaning when I tell you I'm black and I'm proud. Murdered us with the sword, that's how we learned religion. Community standards violate my First Amendment. Discontinue from my heritage under these bastards. Life a bitch, they make up lies and give you public lashes. I understand they confused by who the devil is. Why my people get so mad when I tell them this? Valley of dry bones, my niggas skeletons. It's hectic out there, hope you checking on your relatives. Brotherhood, that's what my weapon is. And I never let these crackers take it from me. Real talk, you probably never heard this all of your life. Be careful, cause that thing you love, it'll cost you your life. Long as we got each other, my nigga. this shit on brotherhood. Long as we got each other, my nigga.
Yeah.
Cause we build this shit
Nigga,
on
I done
brotherhood.
lost family, I done lost friends. Day one, niggas thought was riding to the end. Still showed up, put in that work. Hide behind a smile while I'm walking with this hearse. Some nights I felt alone, most nights I felt cold. Some nights I drove around, I ain't wanna go home. Nigga, I ain't never been, nah, I ain't never fold. Follow orders like a soldier doing what I'm told. Even when the council wasn't making any sense, I ain't never doubted, I just put it to the test. Days I was fucked up and down to my last cent. Reaching in my pockets, only coming up with lint. I'm talking even on the days that I couldn't pay my rent. I put it down for my brothers, ain't spared no expense. If I ever got bent, caused an offense, please forgive your brother, Lord, that ain't what I meant. See that brotherhood a weapon, fight against deception. When something taken from you, then it's just a blessing. Shorty really loved me, gave me everything she got. And I'm sorry, baby girl, if I ever broke your heart. Man, mistakes that I made, don't know if they'll fade. Moving with a heavy heart, living with the pain. Take away the shame, wash away the stain. Praying to the Lord for the days that I was Cain. Sheesh.
Long as we got each other, my nigga. Cause we build this shit on brotherhood. Long as we got each other, my nigga. Cause we build this shit on brotherhood.